It's a Republican way of reforming the market. Because let me tell you, having 30 million people in this country without health insurance and having those people show up when they get sick and expect someone else to pay, that's a Democratic approach. That's the wrong way. The Republican approach is to say, you know what? Everybody should have insurance. They should pay what they can afford to pay. If they need help, we'll be there to help them, but no more free ride.
What kind of job is Ben Bernanke doing right now? The guy's depreciating the dollar. We're seeing this huge inflation of energy prices, including gasoline prices at the pump. What do you think of Ben Bernanke?
Well, you know, I think Ben Bernanke is a student of monetary policy. He's doing as good a job as he thinks he can do in the Federal Reserve. But look, I'm not going to spend my time going after Ben Bernanke. I'm not going to take my effort and focus on the Federal Reserve. I'm going to focus my effort on the administration.
Yeah, but the
power in the war on terror here at home. And Governor Romney, I'll start with you. You have said that the government should wiretap some mosques to keep tabs on Islamic extremists. Would you do this even without a judge's approval, sir?
No, of course not. We'd use the law to follow people who are teaching doctrines of terror and hate and make sure that if they're doing that in a mosque, in a school, at a playground, wherever it's being done, we know what's going on. There's no question but that we're under threat from people who want to attack our country in this global effort. And I know there's a lot of attention paid to, if you will, trying to respond to what would happen if we were attacked. And that's appropriate. We need to have first response up to the best standards. But our focus has to be on preventing an attack. And preventing attack means good intelligence work. It means that people are coming to this country terrorizing or talking about terror in such a way that it could lead to the violent death of Americans. We need to know about that, track them, follow them, and make sure that in every way we can, we know what they're doing and where they're doing it. And if it means we have to go into a mosque to wiretap or a church, then that's exactly where we're going to go. Because we're going to do whatever it takes to protect the American people. And I hear from time to time people say, hey, wait a second. We have civil liberties we have to worry about. But don't forget, the most important civil liberty I expect from my government is my right to be kept alive. And that's what we're going to have to do.
Corporations are people, my friend. We can raise taxes on, of course they are. Everything corporations earn ultimately goes to people. So, where do you think it goes? What? Whose pockets? Whose pockets? People's pockets. Okay, human beings, my friend.
How far would you go to stop Iran from building a nuclear bomb?
Well, Iran has to be convinced that we would go all the way, that we would take military action, that military action is on the table. I think our president has communicated in various subtle ways that there is not a military option that we would consider. I think that's a mistake. I think you have to have crippling sanctions against Iran. I think you have to have covert action in Iran to convince the people there of the folly of becoming a nuclear nation. But I think the Iranians have to believe as well that, and particularly their leadership, believe that America would consider taking military option. That has to be on the table, and plans have to be in place, and that's something which clearly you have to consider. We cannot endure a world where Iran has a bomb, because then, of course, the Saudis will, and Turkey will, And you go around the world, the Syrians will. I mean, you'll have all sorts of people with nuclear weapons, and ultimately fissile material will find its way into the hands of terrorists, and the consequence for the world and for America is unthinkable.
In the case of Mitt Romney, when he was governor of Massachusetts, there were at least 5 cities that dubbed themselves sanctuary cities in Massachusetts, and while he was the governor of the state, he did nothing to stop them. In fact, his critics and his rivals point out that he still sent state funds to those communities, even though they were not enforcing laws.